Alright, hello guys. Today we're going to be talking about the very dangerous weather we're going to be experiencing specifically in the southern United States next week, but also the northeastern United States is going to be dealing with some pretty interesting weather as well. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends and family if they live in the impacted regions. Let's get right into things. Now, before I get started, I'd like to mention that this is a snowstorm and a severe weather outbreak. It's kind of like a combo here. Very interesting weather storm that's going to be impacting a lot of the regions from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even into Friday next week. So this first frame I'm showing you is our nor'easter that we were talking about a couple days ago, and I had mentioned a few times that there's a great chance that it just stays offshore and doesn't even impact the eastern United States. You probably might have seen that weather video, maybe not if you live in the south central United States, but it looks like it is going to do that and not really impact many states outside of the southeastern United States, but definitely not going to be a snowstorm like originally anticipated, or at least there was a chance of that. Now, we're also going to be taking a look at a lot of our severe weather implications here. First off, this is going to be Tuesday around 2 a.m. February 4th, so this is going to get us into February. We can see a low pressure system is set up there by the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, bringing snow north of it and then some precipitation in the form of rain there to the east of it. And this is going to be the beginning of our severe weather and thunderstorms. So in a second, we're going to get into that, start talking about our convective available potential energy, which is our great tool to see where we expect severe weather to develop. Very interesting stuff. So you might be wondering what CAPE is, and that's short for convective available potential energy. And really what it is just a number of really the humidity and the temperature with different layers of the atmosphere with height. And it gives us a good idea of the potential for thunderstorm development and even severe weather development. Here's Tuesday afternoon into the evening, and we can see some of those purple areas there for the eastern regions of Texas, and that's scores that are over 1,000 to 2,000, somewhere in between 1,000 and 2,000. And really, we look for over 1,000 to bring a great threat for severe weather, and sure enough, we do have that there for eastern Texas, telling me that Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening, February 4th, we're definitely going to be dealing with the potential for some severe weather setting up in these regions. Now, as we head towards 2 a.m. on Tuesday night, heading into Wednesday, February 5th, we're going to see that CAPE of over 1,000 set up mostly in southern Texas, but we do see some of those, 600 to 1,000 numbers there for Louisiana, in through Mississippi and Tennessee, and that's going to bring some thunderstorms for those regions as well. This obviously is not final. We're still pretty far out, but we're generally looking at a risk for Texas and through Louisiana, Arkansas, and into Mississippi for Tuesday and through Wednesday. In a second, we're about to start talking about the snowfall for the deep south with this storm, this general storm. I'm going to call it a winter storm because it's wintertime and it's a major storm here. We're dealing with snow, ice, severe weather. It's about as major as it gets. We're going to be dealing with the potential for snow in Texas and Oklahoma. I'm going to talk about it briefly, but not really give you guys a forecast because we're still very far out, and this is an area that typically does not see snow, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but we're about to talk about that, which is super exciting. Now, just recently, I've been getting comments from people in Texas, Oklahoma, states like that. It hasn't even snowed this winter. Winter never happened. I'm ready for spring. Just bring on spring. And sure enough, as soon as people start talking like that, that's when winter decides that it's going to try to arrive here. Now, the GFS model and the European model have snowfall for Texas in through Oklahoma, which is very interesting. Not very common there, but as you can see, we have moderate to heavy snowfall there for central Texas. The European model has it more closer to New Mexico and then up through into the Dallas-Fort Worth area and maybe even into the southern regions of Oklahoma and then in through Arkansas, which is areas that do not expect a lot of snowfall. And the GFS model here, as you can see, has it actually pretty heavy. This can obviously go away over the next few days, and we see that happen sometimes where it'll just trend north, and then we don't see it. But for right now, the models are in pretty good agreement that somewhere in Texas is going to be getting a pretty moderate amount of snowfall, which is very interesting. And obviously, as we move forward, I will be bringing you guys more forecasts on this storm so that we can get a much more accurate outlook on the snowfall. I'll be bringing you an official snowfall forecast, things like that. So rest assured, we will be having updates on that development. Now, if you're curious how much snow this model expects to fall, I'm going to have a snowfall map at the end of the video from the GFS. But for now, I'm going to take a zoomed out look. This is by Wednesday morning, by the way. And we see some snowfall also for Missouri through Illinois, Michigan, and through the New England and upstate New York regions. We see a pretty good southeast ridge pretty much shielding Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, southern New England from the snow and really pushing it further north. Again, this is not final. I've seen the GFS move around with this a lot. It's been trending pretty far north, so this could be another example of a storm that just goes straight up into Canada and never really impacts the United States. Again, we're a few days out, almost a week out, so we really just got to wait to see. But I'm just showing you guys this so you know there is a chance for some snowfall going on in the north central and the northeastern United States next week. The severe weather is definitely my biggest concern going forward next week, obviously. And then as we move on a frame, it's pretty much still snowing there for a lot of these regions. They're specifically for upstate New York and New England, and the snow kind of fizzles out for the south central United States as we head towards the peak temperature hours of Wednesday, February 5th, but we see some snowfall for Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, and it kind of connects with the snow that's going on for the Midwest and up there for the Great Lakes as well. Now, we're about to start talking about severe weather again on Wednesday. It's going to be a 3-day event, pretty severe event considering how many days it is and just the potential that it has. This could be a long-lived, multiple-day outbreak of severe weather, which is definitely not good news. Now, remember what I said, about 1,000 CAPE is what we look for severe weather, and here is an example of a day where we're not really going to have that much, but we still are looking at least an enhanced risk of severe weather, according to the National Weather Service, and that's early on, and this reminds me of our January outlook, or our January outbreak that we had about 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2.5 weeks ago maybe, that we had for Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, and then in through Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee, as well as Kentucky. I think we had a tornado in Kentucky as well. That was only a 2-day event, but this one looks to be a 3-day event, which means it's one extra day of severe weather, as well as having similar chances for severe weather. I remember in that outbreak we saw it on day 6 and 7, and sure enough on this one we see it on day 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to show you guys that in a second. The CAPE was also pretty similar, as well as location was pretty similar, so it's very weird to see the comparisons there. We do have 1,000 CAPE amounts there in very southern Louisiana, or coastal Louisiana, I guess you could say. But we have 500 to 900 amounts there throughout southern half of Louisiana and then up through into Mississippi and Alabama, which is going to end up being enough for severe weather. Let's move on as well to another frame. This was by Wednesday evening, like I said. So we've looked at Tuesday and Wednesday, which is going to be day 5 and day 6. Then let's look at day 7. So as we head towards Thursday, this is going to be 2 a.m. on Thursday. We can see some heavier precipitation going on for Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky. We also see that snow and icy precipitation still for Michigan, Indiana, New York. Again, I'm going to have to update you guys on the winter weather that's going to be with this storm just because of how far out it is right now. But for severe weather, we can kind of eyeball the potential, days and days and days in advance and know that we're going to have an event of some sort. And then as we move on a frame, we see some heavier precipitation heading into the mid-Atlantic. I think this could be some severe weather for the mid-Atlantic, at least a marginal or slight risk, at least for South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and maybe even up through Maryland. I would say a marginal or slight risk on Thursday. And this is going to be by the morning hours. We see snowfall going on for New England again. And we're about to talk about our severe weather once more, where I'm going to show you guys our outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center, and also I'm going to show you our total snowfall in this portion of the video as well. All right, so as you can see here, we're looking at our CAPE once more, and this is going to be for day 7. So again, day 5, day 6, and day 7, we're expecting severe weather, and we can see that CAPE is definitely there for Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. Very, very interesting stuff going on. Let's move on a frame, and you can see those yellows and oranges showing up on the GFS. This is a very low resolution model, so you can't really pinpoint the thunderstorms on this type of model, but we can see where they're expecting heavier precipitation, and we can assume that's where they expect to see thunderstorms. Notice the yellows up there for the Delmarva. That's why I expect a marginal or slight risk all the way up into the mid-Atlantic for this day, as well as high temperatures in the 60s. I think we can definitely see some severe weather up there for the mid-Atlantic, but definitely for the southeast, like South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, is going to be our most risk for severe weather, maybe even up into North Carolina as well. And this was by Thursday evening, afternoon hour. And by the time we reach Friday, we do see some snowfall, back-end snowfall here for West Virginia, some of the Appalachian Mountains, as well as the Northeast. We see some back-end snow as we see our cold front come through and really cool things down. Maybe a quick 1 or 2 inches at the end there. But again, I'm going to need to update you guys on the severe weather implications with this storm. As we reach Friday evening, that's all said and done. And we see cold air arrive. The European and the GFS have this by late next week. But the models are pretty inconsistent with the cold. We are expecting a good shot of cold, though, at this point. Here's your total snowfall map. As you can see in the pinks, that's where we're expecting 6 to 12. Anything underneath the pink is, below 6 inches of snow. But we do expect the chance for maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow there for Texas in some areas. The European and the GFS model have this, which is a dynamic duo that usually, when they agree, is a good sign that these things are to come for, there's a lot more certainty that it's to come. And then we see for the northeastern United States, pretty widespread 6 to 12 inch amounts as well for New England, upstate New York. We see about 3 systems, 3 minor to moderate systems, I'd say. So this could add up. But again, we're going to need to keep updating you guys on the snowfall, because this is going out pretty far, and snowfall maps this year have been very inconsistent. So I'm expecting multiple updates for these snowfall events. I just wanted to get you guys aware of what's happening. And here's that European model. The CAPE that the European model is definitely actually a lot more intense. The European model is eyeballing amounts in the 2,000 to 2,500 amounts there for Texas. Very, very much so higher than what the other models were showing, the GFS specifically. This one has about double the amount of CAPE, if not more. So the European is eyeballing a higher chance at severe weather. Here's your day risks. I'm going to take it day by day. Here's day 5, what I was talking about. We have a 15% chance, which we usually attribute to being at least an enhanced risk there for eastern Texas, northern Louisiana, portions of Arkansas, and then Mississippi. Again, this is going to be Tuesday through into Wednesday early morning through about sunrise on Wednesday. Here's Wednesday's risk, next Wednesday that is. And we can see mostly Louisiana, southern Alabama, and southern Mississippi as well, getting in on that at least enhanced risk. And then we can see by Thursday through Friday morning, we see Alabama, northern Florida, Georgia, and then in through South Carolina, at least getting that enhanced risk. But again, I'm expecting a marginal or slight risk to reach up into North Carolina, Virginia, and maybe even Maryland and Delaware, areas like that as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this video was really unorganized. I realized that as I was making it, that it's kind of very, very sloppy, so I apologize for that. And it was a very long video as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you guys in the next video.